Okay, so second go, MasterCAM crashed on me, and I didn't save anything, so I'm restarting the whole thing from scratch. So from the beginning, I want to do a tab section. So how to show how to do tabbing in MasterCAM 2021, which should work as 2020 as well for those of you that still have 2020 on your machines. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to add a machine. So we're going to be doing milling, default mill, and I want to just do stock setup. Give me an idea of the stock. So I'm going to say we're going to do 1/4 inch stock by say 6 inches by say 6 inches. We'll do 6 by 6 square. That's the piece of stock we have, and I always like to show that red dot on the screen so I have an idea. Alright, and I'm not going to try to make anything too complex here, but say we want to make a Christmas kind of ornament here. Transform. So basically we want to make a snowman, right? That's good. And selection, wireframe, draw the edge here. About that. Transform. Dynamic transform is an easy way to do that. And like I said, I'm not trying to do anything specific. Probably do things a little bit more mathematically correct. Alright, so we have an idea of a frame here, wireframe. So what I like to do at this point, we're just going to have one chain. So we go to wireframe. We want to break at intersections. What I do is I just grab those intersections and I delete them. Grab all these, go back to wireframe, join entities. We're going to just join all these together. Alright. So now with that, we have our basic shape. Notice how that's on the top of our surface. This is going to affect our tabbing. So what we want to do is we want this on the bottom. So we're going to use that transform again. Transform. I'm just going to do a quick dynamic transform. Just center it. And then what we want to do is we want to actually move. I'm going to translate. And I'm going to translate everything here. And selection. We want to go down in the Z by the thickness of our plate here. So that's -0.25. And that copied it. I wanted to move it. Check mark. And I don't think that's centered. I don't think that took the dynamic transform. Transform dynamic. There it goes. Snap to the center. Alright. Move. Enter. Forgot to hit check mark. Always hit the check mark in black or MasterCAM, right? Alright, so we have our shape here. It's still not on the bottom. See, my transform screwed it up on the second one. Transform again. Translate. Want to move it. Want to move it down. -0.25. Check mark. We're on the bottom. Alright. So this is where we want it to be. So we want it to be on the bottom because when we do our contouring for our tabbing, it's going to make the tabs based off of where you have your profile drawn, the chain that you have selected drawn. So in this case we want a tool path. We're going to do a contour. We're just going to select this chain here and select to make sure we're on the right side. That's on the interior. I want to be on the outside here, so this arrow needs to be pointed outward. So we're just gonna change sides, check mark, and then we want to do lead in, lead out. I'm just gonna take lead in, lead out off of there. basically, well, we could leave that in. In some cases, you might not necessarily want it if you're trying to keep a specific profile, but in this case, we're going in and out on the outside edge. We have extra material out here. We're not cutting into anything. We'll leave it on. It is good to have the lead in, lead out with the ramping of the material. Alright, and then we want tabbing. So we want to actually do a tabbing here. This is going to leave tabs in specific positions. So we can do manual positions, or we can let it kind of create its own tabs. I'm going to hit OK and see how it creates its own tabs. So we have section here, and we can see the tabs by where this goes up by 20 thousandths of an inch. This one's in a good spot. I would say this one needs to be moved. So what we can do in here, we'll go in and we'll do a manual. We can actually select the positions. So we want to add one up here. I don't know if that's, it doesn't look like that's changing it. Huh. Maybe because it already, positions. Alright, position there. We select that, and one, say down here. Is that adding to it? What's that doing? Okay. Or you build that. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. It didn't do anything. No, some reason it's not working. Well, it worked down here. Doing multiple tabs? What the heck is it doing? Manual. Huh. That's weird. You can't edit them? Well, that's really kind of odd the way they have that set up. I'm wondering if I have to take off tabs, rerun it. What's a feature they need to fix? All right, we're gonna do a manual position starting out before it puts any. Oh, it already has all the tabs there still. Huh. Overwrite edited tabs. There we go. That's what we want to do. I'm just gonna hit OK to see what happens. Okay. Still doesn't seem. That's odd. It's gonna overwrite them. Well, what I was planning on doing is picking one on one side, one on the other. But as you can tell, that seems like a glitch, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to redo that. Yeah, it's got multiple tabs here now. We'll just redo. It doesn't take long to do the tabbing of the contour. Alright, so grab contour, select there, check mark. Make sure we're on the right side. We're on the wrong side, change side, check mark, tool, I was going to do a 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch flat end mill. We'll do that one. Lead in, lead out. We'll leave tabbing, tab positions. See if we can do manual starting out. Alright, start. And we're going to hit OK. Position. We'll start it like over here, maybe. Looks like, yeah. Okay, so it's one there, one there. Alright, cool. Check mark. And we'll see what that did now for our toolpath. So it looks like we got one there and one down here. So that is an odd bug. Alright, so notice how we get those two spots I selected. We have material left. And it's a really thin really thin piece of material, if you notice. So that way, in some cases, you could even really kind of force it back and forth. It's almost 20 thousandths is, I don't know, I can't think of how thick a piece of aluminum foil is, but it's a bit thicker than that, right? I mean, it's probably closer to a piece of sheet metal, but you could bend it back and forth and eventually break it off. You're most likely going to have to take it to a bandsaw. Then you would have to cut it off there. But that's one example for how to do tabbing. And this is, again, so if you cut directly right through it without tabbing, this piece will fall out halfway through your cutting or really close to finishing it. This will start to sag, and then it'll actually catch your bit here, and that'll either destroy your bit or destroy your part, or both. Most likely both. So what you want to do is you want to do these tabs, and it again helps with keeping the part in place until you're ready to cut it out. That's an example of tabbing. I just wanted to make a quick video on how to do that. Couldn't really find any good examples online. But if you have any questions, please let me know through an email or during lab on campus. Otherwise, I'll be talking at you here soon. All right, later.